typical Virgo. I'm currently in the forest today. If you watch too many of my videos, you're going to hear that a lot. I like the spirit energies that come around in the forest. They really make me feel like a kid again. They really let me connect to my shit. It's good because there's never people around. I don't want to do it. Don't mind people. I love people. But sometimes there's a lot of like wonder in being by yourself. I don't know if that's just a me thing. I find a lot of magic when I can be in nature by myself. And usually when I'm bringing people with me, it's kind of like, look at this, look at that. And I kind of try to share my enjoyment of nature with them and the magic, and being like, oh, maybe they'll connect. Maybe they'll connect with the magic that I see. And not everyone does. But this is a really cool place that I found that I just love being in. And where better to do earth science than in the earth. Well, not in the earth, but on the earth, in nature. Today I'm going to get a kind of clear vibe of where we're going with my oracle cards. We'll pull a card or two depending on what flies out at me. And we'll start off getting an image of where we want to kind of go with this, which can kind of help people, helps people so that they know whether it's whether something's messing up in their career or their relationship or whatever that they need to work on, or whether they just need to get a message or some guidance or some reassurance that things are going on the right track and you don't need to stress. And sometimes it's easier when someone else tells you, some people don't have very good self-talk all the time. Some people get trapped in their heads. I know I do, a lot. And sometimes there's just too many energies around. And if you're an empath or if you're a healer, sometimes you might absorb those energies and they get taken on as your own, or because you've kind of not protected yourself beforehand, you can kind of just absorb a lot of what other people think as your own. And there's a real big difference between being intuitive and having a lot of thoughts and energy swirling around in your head. Okay, I'm going to pull two. Ooh, Virgo. So for my oracle cards, I'm using the Alice of the Wonderland deck. It's one of my favorite oracle decks. It's a gift that I got given from my family member, my sister. She's, very spiritual, very great role model that I look up to in lots of ways. Like, I look up to both of them for both different reasons. And one of my older sisters, she's very much, able to connect in a way that I used to dream about connecting, and now I can look at it and be like, actually, I had those gifts all along, and, maybe she just had to be there to reassure me that even if you think you're an everyday type of person and those gifts aren't going to come to you because no one's ever shown you the way, doesn't mean that you don't have that inside of you. And all she did was like, here's some of this. I know you like tarot, here's this. And just that simple gift gave me a lot more than just, an oracle deck. It gave me that belief that, hey, I can be a normal person and live in the world and still have spiritual gifts, still have clairvoyance and audience, and still be able to have prophetic dreams, still be able to read tarot and help people. Sorry, I got off topic. But it really shows in this. I've got the choices card and painting the roses red, which is a lot of feeling blocked, feeling kind of in a box and covering up your mistakes. Like, choices card, I'll kind of give you, I've read these cards quite a bit, but it's a lot easier when you hear them. working for or being in a relationship with someone who's harsh on those who make mistakes, feeling forced to cover up errors to avoid punishment, fears of mistakes being discovered, hiding the evidence as the consequences are much harsher than the actual mistake itself, feeling that what you need to do to stay safe is no longer reasonable. So I see some Virgos. Now remember, this might not be for everyone. I have a Virgo moon, and so this can kind of come up as like my shadows, come up as my unconscious, or like my blocks and things that I get. Some things that kind of come up for me usually with my Virgo moon. There's a lot of like my childhood. A lot of the blocks that I have come from childhood and having a rough time in childhood, never feeling like I fit in, never feeling like I was able to be who I was. I was always on guard. I was always feeling blocked. I was always feeling constricted by someone else's choices and someone else's want for my life. So this could kind of, I don't see it in the same way, but I can kind of resonate a little bit with it, where it's like you feel like you don't have a choice. You feel like you are stuck. You're feeling blocked, like I can't see a clear direction. It's like these are my choices and nothing else. And you might be like, well, I can't admit to any mistakes that I've made, because if I do, that makes me a bad person. Because everyone already thinks I'm a bad person. So if I admit to making a mistake and trying to make it better, it just reinforces that. And that's actually not true, because the action of forgiveness and mercy and the action of giving love and being who you are is giving love to yourself, and also giving the opportunity for others to see you as you really are, which is the opposite of a bad person. Yes, you might have made mistakes in your past, or you might still be making mistakes now, trying to learn as a person and trying to reveal all these blocks to yourself, but taking that choice to be who you actually are is a lot of self-love. And when you can love yourself enough to be who you actually are, whether or not you've made a mistake and whether or not you think you're a bad person, can actually lead you towards people loving you for who you actually are, mistakes and all. Because no one's bloody perfect. And whether people think they've made mistakes or not, I can guarantee you that every single person on this earth and above has made mistakes. We're going to start out with your past, your most immediate past, your future, your present, and your most immediate future. All my readings end up different. It's really funny. I'll do them, like, I'll either shuffle and I'll do just the immediate past, and then I'll shuffle again and do the future, do the present and then the future, etc., etc. Sometimes they all just come out different. This one's coming out different. So I see in your most recent past, you've got the Knight of Swords, you've got the Five of Cups, and the Three of Pentacles. I do see this as kind of, I see you not being able to make the choice, or you go to make a choice, and you've kind of just been sitting there for a long time in your head being like, oh, I can't sleep. This is just on my mind 24/7. I just can't get it out of my head. All I'm doing is sitting here procrastinating and going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You're expecting all the worst to happen. But you're also having blocks, like in this oracle card, you're having blocks towards the possibilities that are in front of you already. So while it might be like, I want to go in this situation, I want to do this and that, I see a lot of you kind of making a decision, like you want to go in this direction, but it feels like it's blocked. And that's mainly because you don't see how you can take creative steps towards the things that you really do want to achieve in your 3D life, like your careers and your family and the way you want to live in the actual physical world, and not so much in your head and who you want to be and what your passions are. And your connection to spirit or guides or whatever, you really want to be finding whatever it is that can let you relax enough into yourself, whether that's like meditating or taking some time away from people and the expectations that other people have on you. Because I know I do that a lot. It's like I'm like, oh shit, I have to do this for the kids, I have to do this for my job, I have to do this for the house, and it feels like so much. And it's like, I just want a day to just go away from all my responsibilities and just sit in the forest, which I'm doing. And I'm still doing work, but it's what brings me joy. And sometimes you need to take a step back from all these people, all these things, all these stuff around you, because you're not being able to see the positive of these things not happening to you is usually for a reason. Sometimes you have to be a little creative in the way that you think you have to go around. So someone that's like, oh, I want to travel the world and I want to do this, but I have to be a millionaire to do it and all this kind of crap. Sometimes, and then when you don't, you're like, I can never make enough money to just get this done. It's not supposed to happen. And oh my goodness, it's just keeping me up all night. How am I going to make this work? Because I'm never going to have enough money for it. Who says you need to have a lot of money to travel the world? Most of the people that I know that are like nomads that travel the world, they took creative steps to have an income that isn't based on where they are. They have an income that isn't based on what they do specifically. So some people that I know, they go and do work on a farm and they stay there for 3 months, and that's what they do. They stay there for 3 months, they get free food, they get free electricity, they get free Wi-Fi, free whatever, and all they have to do is help out this family on a farm for 3 months, and that saves the farmer and all that money, and it saves them money. They don't have to, like, they do get money from other jobs and stuff, or they sell all their crap, or they have savings or whatever, but sometimes the way that you think you have to go about it isn't the only way. And it's really time to get creative and be kind of recognized for how you're doing it together. If that makes sense. How are you working together with the world that you've got in order to make this happen? Some of you might be fantasizing like, I need to be a millionaire. I need to have like thousands of dollars in the bank before I can bring this into my 3D world. I've got it all in my head. I've got it all in my heart. I want to bring it out into the world. Well, are you able to be a team player with the world that you've got? Are you able to look at the world that you've got, the money that you've got, the resources that you've got? Are you able to create that now? Because I see in your present, you have the Strength card, you have the 5 of Pentacles, and the 8 of Wands. Yeah. I see the need to kind of have internal strength in the sense that you can control your emotions, if that makes sense. Not control your emotions, but release the harshness around what you feel and what you think about yourself. A lot of it is like this in the past, you know, you think you need to have $1 million to be able to do this, to be able to do that. Are you able to release that? Release the harshness on yourself about what you think you need? Are you able to show yourself some love and compassion and forgiveness for where you think you need to be? Because with this 5 of Pentacles, I see you being really worried about not having enough money, not being able to accept help from people, not being sure how to do it by yourself in an uncertain way. Like, you know, wanting to be a nomad or wanting to explore, wanting to do this or that can kind of be scary. And you're like, well, if I don't have a full-time job, how am I going to afford fuel to travel? How am I going to afford this or that? Who says you need a car? Plus, people have like those frequent flyer points and they have all this shit that they can add up. And They can take a plane for $25 and go to some random place, and all you need is really a passport. You need a backpack, and that's kind of all you need. I see a lot of this as kind of being like things are moving too fast for you to kind of wrap your head around where you need to go or where you want to go. And it's kind of getting to a point where you can't delay it anymore. Things are happening like right now. Lots of things are all happening at the same time, and you're like, I just need to get a clear image of where I'm going. And I do see you doing that now. In your most immediate future, things are coming in fast. Like, you're able to, you've obviously cleared up these blocks. You're working on clearing up these blocks because you're like, nah, that's it. It's coming to the time crunch. I need to make a decision now. I need to actually get this moving. I need to get this off the ground. And I see you with this Knight of Swords. You get the High Priestess and the Two of Wands. You are doing that. I do see you doing that. I do see you going, right, these are my options. Taking the time, sitting there going like, right now, I don't have $1 million. That was a butterfly. I don't have $1 million. I don't have a car that's easy to run. I don't have this or that, but I'm going to sit here, think about what I do have and what solutions I can come up with to be able to move from a more intuitive place and really consider what it is. If I want to go out and be a nomad, how are you going to manage that while having a full-time job in the first place? I see you really needing to kind of work together with people from a place of your passion, finding people that are like you, because I do see a new partnership coming in. I see ways to keep going. You're getting this, come on, let's keep going. We don't need to sit here. We don't need to fuck around. We don't need to worry about things. We just need to take a little bit of action towards what we're thinking about. You need to really listen to your intuition. You need to listen to your, we got Haniel twice. Things are working for you. You just need to release that fear that things are not working for you or things are not going to work for you. You get the World card. When you do this, when you are like, it started out pretty shady. It started out like, oh crap, what have you done, Virgo? But I really see you coming in. You're listening. You're listening to whatever intuition is telling you, wherever you're getting it from, whether it's things like, tarot readings, whether you're looking online and you're like, this is confirmation I needed, or someone else who you thought, oh, they'd never have a chance of doing this, they go out and do it too. And you're like, oh, it's not that hard. It's not as hard as I thought it was with this Knight of Swords, expecting the worst and having self-fulfilling prophecies and sleepless nights. Like, you were too much in your head about what you think it has to look like, what you think it has to be like in order for it to be successful. You need to really, I do see you guys kind of, when you're able to take that clear action of coming down from your head and really looking at your world that you have it right now, how are you able to see what you've got and put that into your dream right now? It doesn't have to be, I need to have all this money, I need to have all this experience, I need to know how to get to here, to here, to here, to here, every single day of my life. Otherwise, this isn't going to work out, it's all going to crumble, it's all going to be horrible. Those are the fears that are kind of holding you back. Those are the restraints that are holding you back. You think you have to be perfect, you have to paint the roses red, You think you have to cover up every mistake and be the most perfect person and have all the money and everything set. You have to have a clear goal 24/7. Maybe you just need to make the decision to do it in the first place. Because what I see is a lot of, in your head, you don't feel like you can do it, you don't think you can do it, but you have enough resources that you can if you really want to. It's not so much that you I'm not going to say that everyone is abundant, because not everyone is financially abundant or career abundant or 3D abundant. Some people are stuck in positions where they don't have enough money. They don't have, or what they think is enough money. But I have even been in those positions myself. And right before COVID happened, my plan was travel the world. Take my kids, do homeschooling, just travel the world. And while my plans might change, the direction that I'm going in is not changing. The ways that I could have done it then, I can still do it now. I don't need to have thousands of dollars if I want to go travel the world. But there are things like, there's specific documents or blocks that I have around my shame and around my guilt that I need to work on too, so that I'm not living my life through the expectations of others, basically. And I see you kind of really, when you finally get into this mind space of, right, it's come to the crunch, I need to make a decision now, you do. You do make this decision. You look at your options, you do think about it, but you, like this Knight of Swords, you take action in the direction that your mind wants to go. You do bring your heart with you. You do bring these new partnerships that come in to help you along the way. You have people that support you and encourage you to help you to move forward when you listen to your intuition and you really consider what it is you want, and you have a little bit of patience with the universe for them to bring you what you want. You really do have all these things that you thought were holding you back. They kind of just get released to the universe, and when you do that, you really develop a gratitude for what you've already got. Sometimes that's all it needs, is you need to realize that you have all the stuff that you need right now, and if not, there are ways that you can go about that don't have to be the clear, concrete way. Sometimes some people take an extra step, and sometimes people miss 5 steps. You don't have to have every single step. You don't have to go from A, B, C, D, E, and F, and G. You can start at F, go to G. You can start at A and go to D. You can start at G and go back to A and go A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You don't have to do it the right way or the concrete way or the clear directional way. But what you need and want from life, you need to kind of become clear and concrete with that. And I think when you do that, when you can kind of release those blocks and it comes down to the crunch of things, you will make the decision that's best for you. You will make the decision that can kind of help you realize that you are going to just have what you want when you can release these blocks and realize that you're not doing it alone. The universe and people will show up when you allow them to. But when we get to the end of it, you get joy, you get contentment, you feel grateful for your life, you have so much gratitude towards what the life can offer you, because it's not all clear, and the path towards enlightenment is not going to be clear. If you are a spiritual person, even if you're not a spiritual person, but I believe if you're here, you're in some way spiritual. Being a spiritual person doesn't mean that you don't have your life together, and having your life together doesn't mean you don't have spiritual gifts. And there's no reason why you can't blend the two together and listen to your intuition. And just because in the 3D world it doesn't look like to everyone that it makes sense, as long as you're on the path of what you want to do and you listen to yourself and what the guides are kind of telling you to do, or not telling you to do, but telling you is what's important to you, then that's all you kind of need to know. Because I'm going to pull an extra card for you just because I'm nice. And because we've been talking a long time, and some people just get bored of shit listening to the same crap. Yep. You just need to stand your ground, defend your decisions, and choose your battles wisely. So it's kind of like, we got 7 of Wands, by the way. Do you really need to fight with everyone? Like, does everyone need to understand what you're doing in order for you to do it? I think some Virgos might have a little bit of difficulty with going against the rough. You want to be viewed in a particular way. You want to be viewed as a person who doesn't make mistakes. You want to be viewed as a person who takes every right step, because you don't want to have to go to war with other people. You don't want to have to stand up for your beliefs 24/7. But that's when you've been asked to kind of just, it's not that hard to go, hey, I get it. You got this point of view. Well, my point of view is different. It doesn't mean you're wrong. It just means that it's not right for me. And sometimes you don't even need to argue with people. Sometimes you get better peace by not arguing with people. Like, if someone's coming at you with genuine love and care and they're like, hey, I don't understand why you're going ahead and doing this. I thought you wanted to do this. Or I thought you wanted to do that. You just say, look, this is the direction that I want to go in my life, and I'm happy with my choices, and I'm going to defend my choices, and that's it. So Virgos, really the message of today is release those blocks that are making you think you can't have what you want. Because there's always new ways to go about it. And sometimes it's about finding your own way. And that can be really daunting, and that can be really hard, because it's like, well, everyone gets all this information and all these guides and all these mentors, and you get all these people on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and whatever the fuck people do. And they're like, yeah, these are the instructions. Here's the instruction book. You become a parent, and it's like, okay, here's a parenting book. I'm pretty sure that parenting book is not going to work for everyone in the first place. Your kid is going to be genuinely unique, and this is going to be like your baby. Your life is your baby now, and you get to take those actions towards what you think is right for your baby. Whether that is a real baby or whether that's like the direction you want your life to be heading in. And yeah, Virgo, just don't forget that you have people like you who want to do the same thing. And sometimes you're going to end up being the mentor. You might end up being the mentor who shows everyone that you don't have to have instructions to do it. Okay. All right, Virgo, it's time to go. See you later.